Hi, this is Kendra with Trius TV, and I'm back with another video. Guys, this is going to be some old content. Everybody's done it by now. Everybody should know the truth, but just for anybody that don't, I want to drill this on home. We each one teach one. This is the whole name of the game. Excuse me. And so what you may not understand with somebody else, you may understand with me. Point blank period. That's the goal of this. And to get this information out. And yes, it is about us so-called black people being American Indian and why we believe we are American Indian. The proofs and the evidence. I'm going to start off today with hues of complexion, right? And then I'm going to also go into cuisine, where I'm going to show, all right, with cuisine, how we are who we are. All right, right now you see a picture of my arm. And the reason why I got my arm out is to drill something home. A lot of white people say they're red. But if I was to Google white people right now, right, just them, okay? And I'm going to go to Google. I don't want you guys to sit and wait. This is a white person, right? They call themselves red, which is so weird because he's more of a pinkish yellow, pale color than he would ever be red. Now, if you look at my hue of complexion, I am very much a mahogany. You see the red in my hue of complexion. You see the redness, which is in brown, right? That mahogany color. I'll drill it on home with some diagrams or some pictures, if you will, that even shows what the red hue looks like, right? So this is also a example in a picture that I got off of Pinterest, just showing that the hues, yellow, brass, amber, black, bronze in the middle, red, brown, copper, that is my hue. I am a red, brown, copper color. Look at now, that's the white man who says he's red, right? We got this photo right here that's showing now you could pause and go back to my arm if you need to do comparison, but this is the color of, you see that reddish brown. And so here's my arm, and this is what it looks like in the sun, right? That reddish, mahogany, brown, copper color that they keep talking about, okay? That they keep saying the American Indian had, but yet denying us our rights to be an American Indian with all evidence that's substantiated. But I digress. Let's keep going. Here we go again, right? And you just see the same American Indian they put with his hand on his head because of the disappointment. So this is a Native American that we see today. They call that color flesh. See that crayon, which is the orangey color, right? Here's us chestnut Indian red, which is me. We dark brown, copper color, brown skin, right? Red is closer to brown than it will ever be to pink. Pink nears white, right? That pink hue, right? Again with the brown Indians. Here you also see what Indian chief originally looked like at the top, what they look like now. So crazy how they just completely lost all melanin in only such a 100 or so years of time. You know what I mean? It's crazy. I don't. Oh, okay, maybe not. Might not take this out. We'll see. All right. Here we go again. When they say that the ancient Egyptians, I wasn't going to get into that, but since it's there, what the Egyptians look like on their hieroglyphs and their drawings and depiction and stuff, what Indians would look like from people like Constantine Samuel Rafiki, you know what I'm seeing, Balboa, Christopher Columbus saw these Indians, all right, with the Mayans look like on the Bunampuck walls and what they look like today. So different. make any sense. Again, fake Tontos and sitting ducking. Look at them, iron eyes and what. Meanwhile, they call themselves BS stuff, ironclad and walking foot and Ben Weasel, and you know what I mean? They're just stupid. They try to say, oh, everything we did had something to do with the climate. That's just them speculating. Meanwhile, he's called Sax Chief. You know what I mean? They're called Cherokee. They're called, Algonquin, right? You get what I mean? How they're called Sitting Bull and Red Fox and all that silliness. Well, where we are called by either, regions, people in our family, language, they're called, you know what I mean? They thought they was doing something. They tried. You know what I mean? When somebody conspires something and they make something up and they try to be super that person, they try to be super the image that they stole. That's all they doing, right? But anyway, go where there were, I'm certain y'all seen these before, where they had some of the original people, what they looked like in their gear, and then what they looked like when they were reclassified as American Indian. I mean, as Negro, color, or black, right? So yeah, and it's just letting us know that Martin Luther King, they said that they found Michael Jackson ancestry, that he was not from African but an indigenous Blackfoot and Choctaw American Indian. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but yeah, just to put it in there. Again, we're going back to hues of complexion and the color of copper. These are old copper coins, and this is what, again, that Indian red that we're talking about, that red color that they keep claiming they red, but clearly we're red. And I know that they're talking, excuse me, but I know they're talking about their Mongol counterparts who did similarly have a dark hue of complexion, right? We know Chino slaves had dark hues of complexion, but I wanted to get into a writing that was about the Chino slaves, right? Seminole, Southeast, Saxonies, on the Bunampec. All right, I don't want to keep going. We go again, how they originally looked in 1910 and how now in 2020 everybody done lost their hue of complexion. Insane. And every other thing, hair texture, everything, color, everything changed. You got the Olmecs, the Mayans, they wore braids, locks, whatnot. They had beads and embroidered hair, right? That we still even do to this day, right? All right. And before they get into details, they be like, oh, look at his nose. Look at his nose. We come in variety. Please stop limiting so-called black people in our features, hair texture, and in our eye and hair color. Red hair, we have red hair, brown skin folk. Blonde hair, brown skin folk. Light skin folk. We come in varieties of hues of complexion, so I need people to take several seats. When you see something say red hair, that doesn't mean that they're Caucasian. That doesn't mean that they even have pale skin just because somebody has red hair, because it's been proven that black people can have. I'll show you better than I can tell you. Here we go. Now here's this baby. She black. She was born with red hair. She came into the world like this. So we can look at her hue of complexion. Is she not red? Is she not red? She ruddy. She ruddy, and the red hair only adds to the ruddiness of this baby's complexion. Natural redheads. So I want y'all to understand that we can have red hair. That's not a white person staple, right? Because I know white people love to hear, when they hear red hair or blonde hair, they be like, see, that's us. Sorry, we can have that too. All right? And there's no feature that white people can have that black people can't have. Excuse me. But anyway, sorry if you hear me chewing. These almond M&Ms is just, they doing it for me. They're hitting every spot. I'll just say it like that. Anyway, Indian cornbread. Now, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, excuse me, I was going to talk about cuisine, hue of complexion. We done drilled that hue of complexion home. We'll hear not no more about red. I ain't saying anything about red. I know they talking about they Asian counterparts is red. But as you saw, the early depictions of American Indians, if they were Mongols, somebody would have said it. Because Mongols also had and could have brown skin. As Benjamin Franklin said that, right? Asia, tawny, chiefly tawny. Right? So we knew them to also have brown skin as well. Asia. Right? I digress. Now, cuisine is also a dead giveaway. For instance, oftentimes American Negro are compared to African. And so I wanted to, now African cuisine is popular right now and have been popular for the past 4 to 5 years. Africans eat West Africa specifically because that's where they claim they got us from. So let's talk about West Africa. We know the Ethiopians are in West Africa. Melting pot of different tribes are in Africa, right? Nigerians, so forth and so on, right? So let's talk about what they eat and if there's any American similarities, Black American similarities, right? And y'all see clearly I got this up on cornbread up on here on purpose, right? So Black Americans, we do eat cornbread. Now, cornbread is a staple in every Black home, right? I'm not saying that other people could not be influenced by us because we, as American Indian, did travel the globe. We, as Hebrew people, traveled the globe. So I'm certain that there has been kinds of influences that we had over the years from other racial groups or them, us, right? Them being influenced by us. I digress. Let's go on. Now, there are certain staples, matter of factly, that are in an African home where any African that is from West Africa will tell you, depending on that tribe, that they eat. For instance, Nigerians and I think it's Guyane, I don't know how to say that, Guyaneians, I don't know how to say that, they tend to eat egusi soup and fufu egusi soup and jollof rice. Now, I'm going to talk about the cuisine in my family and a lot of Southern families. We do not eat anything equivalent to, egusi soup. We like okra, don't get me wrong, there's an influence there. And I guarantee you that influence came from the Spaniards or from the Spanish or the Portuguese because they were exiled to Africa. So that's where that okra influence could have came from. But we don't eat anything equivalent to egusi soup at all. We don't eat anything equivalent to it. This is traditional West African cuisine. I don't know everything up here, but I see some jollof rice, right? I don't know which one it is, but some dumpling type things, some type of meat. But here goes some egusi soup and fufu, right? They eat similarly. Jamaicans kind of eat closer to them, but we know that there could have been an influence because we know that the Jamaicans are not African, but the Arawak and Taino Indians that were found there. Okay, so point blank period, we know that they're not African, and no African was sent to Jamaica. As a matter of fact, I have an article I want to read. All right, right here. Now we're going look at this article, because this article is going to go into another video. Sorry, I'm chewing, y'all. I'm not trying to be loud with it, but I can't help it. All right. They talk about their serious Negro problem. This article, this is an old article. Now, I don't want to go back because I don't want to lose my thing, where I'm at and what I'm talking about. I'm trying to not make this long, but it's long. So anyway, all right, so 1911. All right, so I'm gonna start where there are no United States law against such immigration. Now they're talking about the Jamaicans, y'all, in this article right here. That's what I'm talking about. Because this article, and I'm gonna do this article in a different page and talk about it and the man that wrote it and what his goal was. He was in eugenics, and you know they believed in the Aryan white race. And when I'm talking about white, this is Japhet's children. You know, y'all can go watch Camario Ahu video, the Khazars. Don't talk about the Khazars, and you'll know who belongs to that family bloodline of Japhet, which is your Asian and your so-called white folk, and your Hindustans, right? And how they went on a stealing spree of cultures, lands, and tradition. But and so in this article, they're talking about the Negro problem, and they're talking right now specifically about the West Indies, right, in Jamaica. So it says there are no United States law against such immigration. Just short of 40,000 such persons have come to the country in the last 10 years. Now, I'm gonna go back up, where it says some aspects of the Negro problem. Albert Ernest Jenks, University of Minnesota, right? So they're talking about the Negro problem because there's a lot of us, right? And allegedly they were supposed to have brung all these different African slaves, and that's the reason why there's this many, baby, in such a short amount of years. You mean to tell me you accumulated millions of us, so much of us? Not possible with the current conditions in which the boats in which y'all had at that time. But I digress. Let's go on. And if you made it this far, please like, share, and subscribe. But it says, immigration. Since we have a serious Negro problem, it is reasonable, that this problem be made more difficult by admission into the United States each year of the increasing number of un-Americanized immigrants. Now, when they say un-Americanized, it's brainwashing, right? They're not talking about them being like aboriginals or Indians or anything. They're just talking about Americanizing them with fake ideology. But anyway, I digress. I go on. And it says immigrant alien Negroes. There are no United States laws against such immigration. Just short of 40,000 such persons have come to the country in the last 10 years. In 1911, we received 6,721. So they're giving you numbers to let you know. Now, mind you, they said we received, they say they're immigrating in, not being brought as slaves. Take notes of that. They're saying they're being brought in, they're coming in as immigrants, not being brought as slaves. And received 6,721. They come from near at hand, 3/4 coming from the West Indies. So they're talking about people from the West Indies, Jamaica, and so forth coming into the Americas. The West Indies have nearly 6 million Negroes, any of whom may come to the United States in America. 6 million. Do you hear me? At such a time, 1911, slavery was abolished allegedly in 1685, but already Jamaica has 6 million. Explain the number and how come that don't make sense? Especially with those boats. Remember, if y'all watched, I think it was not Camario, Dan Calloway, who said in order for them to have that many millions, they would have to be unloading and loading and docking every single day for I don't know how many years to be able to get millions of Africans from Africa into the Americas. But you're talking about in 1911, there were already 6 million West Indians. 6 million. Not possible. Not with the slave trade y'all talking about. Any who may come to the United States. America, okay? debars Oriental people, and I guess they're talking about Asians, not because they are inferior. And this article is where this man, and I'm gonna talk about him in another video, is trying to establish in his mind, he's fictitious, he's jealous, he's a hater, and he's a Slavic, clearly he's a white man. He's trying to establish the superiority, because he was with the eugenics movement, of white and Mongol people over the brown-skinned American Indians, right? Or anybody with such brown skins, but more or less the American Indians. He is the one who single-handedly, we'll talk about him in another video. But anyway, this is Kendra with Truest TV. I know it's going to go on cuisine, but this is 20 minutes long, y'all. I'm going to have to get y'all in the next video because I ain't want it to be this long. But stay up, stay blessed, put God first above all else, guys. Peace out. Bye.